Welcome to UW-Madison. My name is Sue Reisling and I'm the police chief for the university. All victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, all deserve our support and respect. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, there's several different options you can exercise if you choose to report to a campus office or to the university police. We care about crime victims, and we want to make sure that we remove any barrier that you might perceive to reporting to us or some campus office. Just so that you're aware, if you've been drinking, even if it's underage drinking, no office on campus nor the police will take any action against you. It's important that you tell us what happened to you. It's important that we get you the help you deserve.
When we say reporting, we're talking about the options a person has to file a complaint about sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, and/or stalking with the university or law enforcement. It doesn't matter if the event happened on or off campus, or if the perpetrator is a fellow student, a family member, employed by UW-Madison, or not affiliated with UW-Madison. You can still report and receive information about available assistance. Reports can be made to a UW-Madison office, to law enforcement, to neither, or to both. You can make a report in person, over the phone, or by email.
Hello, my name is Dave Blum, and I'm the Title IX coordinator here at UW-Madison. Title IX is a federal law that protects students from discrimination on the basis of sex and gender. One of the roles I play here at the university is to oversee the process we use to respond to reports of sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, or stalking. I want to assure you that when a student files a report with the University of Wisconsin-Madison, it will be handled fairly, impartially, and promptly. We will not force anyone to participate in the process if they choose not to, but we will advise them that the results of the process will be based on the information shared with us by the various parties. We will keep the complainant and the respondent informed of the status of the case, and we will notify both parties of the outcome of the case in writing. Students can report sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, or stalking directly to me, the Title IX coordinator, or they can make the report to the Dean of Students' office. Both offices are located in Bascom Hall. You should also know that reports you make to other university employees, such as house fellows in residence halls, academic advisors, or university administrators, may be forwarded to me for response.
When UW-Madison receives reports, we will work to respond to the safety needs of the victim and provide them with written information about their options, address the factors and conditions that may have contributed to the violence, and investigate the alleged perpetrator and potentially impose disciplinary sanctions.
When we receive a report of sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, or stalking, we prepare to initiate an investigation and to initiate appropriate disciplinary proceedings. However, we realize that might not be what you want. Therefore, wherever possible, we will try to get your agreement before we proceed with an investigation. In those limited situations where we have to proceed without your agreement, we will explain why we have to proceed.
If the campus does move forward with an investigation, one or more trained investigators, one of whom may be the Title IX coordinator, will be assigned to the case. The first step is to take a statement from the complainant, who is the person making the report. We recognize that this conversation might be difficult, as the investigator will need a detailed description of what happened, including the names and contact information of people who might be able to confirm the complainant's statements. We encourage you to bring a support person of your choice, such as a friend, family member, or victim advocate to this meeting, as well as other meetings related to the investigation, including hearings. UW-Madison will not limit the choice of an advisor. After that, the respondent, who is the person being investigated, will receive a written notice outlining the charges being made against them. They will have an opportunity to respond and also have the right to bring a person of their choosing to any meetings. After hearing from both the complainant and respondent, the investigator will gather additional information to complete the investigation. They will prepare a report which will be forwarded to an office that is responsible for student or employee discipline, such as the Office of Student Conduct and Community Standards. This office will use a preponderance of the evidence standard to determine if it is more likely than not that the respondent is responsible for the behavior they have been accused of. If there is not a preponderance of evidence, no action will be taken against the respondent. If this happens, the complainant has the right to request a review of the decision and can still receive help from campus. If there is a preponderance of evidence, a sanction or sanctions will be recommended. The respondent has the option of challenging the decision by requesting a hearing. When a suspension or expulsion has been recommended, a hearing will be automatic. Hearings are conducted by a 3-person panel of university staff, faculty, and students who receive annual training about these issues and how to conduct an investigation that protects victim safety and promotes accountability. The hearing panel will consider the evidence from the investigation, and all parties will have the opportunity to present witnesses and question one another. The hearing panel will then make a decision on whether they agree with the original findings. If the respondent is found responsible, they will be subject to one or more of the following sanctions or consequences. Both parties will be notified of the outcome in writing and information about how to appeal the decision. They will also be notified when the results are final or if they change. All of the disciplinary procedures we've outlined here are part of the University of Wisconsin Administrative Code. To learn more, see UWS Chapter 17. For information about disciplinary processes for faculty and staff members, see UWS Chapters 4, 7, and 11.
In addition to the rights in an investigation you've heard about already, victims of sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, and stalking have additional rights under both state and federal law and university policies.
Options for help. When a student or employee reports to UW-Madison that they have been a victim of sexual harassment, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, or stalking, whether the offense occurred on or off campus, UW-Madison will provide that person a written explanation of their rights and options. Options include counseling, health, mental health, victim advocacy, legal assistance, visa and immigration assistance, student financial aid, and other services available on campus and in the community. Accommodations and protective measures. Victims have the right to be notified in writing of accommodations and protective measures, whether or not they report to police. UW-Madison must provide them if they are reasonably available. These may include changes to academic, living, transportation, and working situations. Victims have the right to request accommodations whether or not they report to police. Privacy. UW-Madison takes victim privacy very seriously. Victim information, including their name, identifiable details, and services they receive, will not be shared unless necessary in order to provide protection or accommodations. This privacy extends to publicly available records and Clery Act reporting disclosures. Information that may identify a victim will never appear in the Clery Crime Log, the Annual Security and Fire Safety Report, crime warnings, or emergency notifications. Restraining orders. UW-Madison and UW-PD will enforce active restraining orders, no contact orders, and civil injunctions issued by a court of law. The Dean of Students' Office and the Office of Human Resources may also enforce a campus no-contact directive, which is different than a court restraining order. This prohibits the recipient from having any form of communication with the individuals named in the directive. Protection from retaliation. Victims and witnesses have the right to be free from retaliation, intimidation, threats, coercion, and/or discrimination. Wisconsin crime victim rights. Any victim who reports to law enforcement is also entitled to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, to be informed of their rights and how to exercise them, to a speedy disposition of a criminal case, and to apply for crime victims' compensation. Chapter 950 of the Wisconsin Statutes provides more detailed information. Reporting to law enforcement. If you choose not to report to law enforcement, UW-Madison will respect that. If you would like to report to the police, the university is here to help you with that process.
I'm Anthony Curtis, police detective with the University of Wisconsin-Madison Police Department. Some students may want to report to law enforcement. It's their choice. If a student decides to want to report, they can walk into the police department and make contact with the dispatcher. The dispatcher would then notify a police officer to come to take the initial report. Our main goal is to give that victim the support that they need at that particular time. Once that officer completes that report is then sent up to the detective bureau, where a detective would be assigned to investigate the case in a timely manner.
If you choose to report, it is important you know that preserving any evidence can increase the chances of a successful investigation or in obtaining a restraining order. This might include receiving a forensic nurse exam or saving pictures of any injuries, clothing, or bedding, or communication such as text messages and social media. The victim is encouraged to bring a support person with them. This can be a victim advocate, friend, or attorney at their own expense. Victims can request officers of the same gender if they wish. UW-PD will also let the university know about the report in order to ensure that the student's rights are upheld, connect the student with any services they need, and determine whether a campus disciplinary investigation is necessary. Additional information about what you learned here can be found at www.evoke.wisc.edu. A complete listing of campus policies and procedures are published annually in UW-Madison's annual Security and Fire Safety Report, which can be found on the UW-PD website.
My name is Dave, and I evoke a safer campus for all UW-Madison students.
I'm Anthony. I evoke compassion for victims.
I'm Sue, and I evoke justice by working for fairness.